taking us through the headlines, viewers, the top focus is the relief for Nimisha Priya, the Indian nurse who's on death row in Yemen. Her execution, which was scheduled for today, has been postponed. The order has been signed by the prison execution officer and also the local judge of a court in Yemen. The Indian diplomatic officials who were part of the negotiation that took place said the talks will be continuing with this. Hopes have now risen, obviously, about her death row, the death row prisoner escaping the gallows. Now, sources in New Delhi basically have said that the government of India has made concerted efforts in recent days to seek more time for Nimisha's family to reach a mutually agreeable solution with the other party. The husband of Nimisha Priya has also expressed relief and satisfaction over the postponement of her execution. He's expressed hope that the united efforts will continue to avert her execution altogether.
അല്ല ആ വിവരം കിട്ടിയപ്പോൾ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ആശ്വാസവും സന്തോഷവും എന്താണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞറിയിക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്ത ഈ അവസ്ഥയിൽ നമ്മൾ ജീവിക്കണേ. ഈ അവസ്ഥയിൽ ജീവിക്കുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് പറഞ്ഞറിയിക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്ത സന്തോഷവും ഒക്കെ നമുക്കുണ്ട്. എന്നാലും അത് ഭംഗിയായിട്ട് വരുമെന്നുള്ളത് നമുക്ക് ഉറപ്പുണ്ട്. എല്ലാവരുടെയും ഇടപെടലും കാര്യങ്ങളും അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് ശക്തമായിട്ട് തന്നെ അതിൻ്റെ അകത്തുണ്ട്. അതിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമൊക്കെ അതുവരെ സാറക്കാട് പോയി ഇതിനകത്ത് ഇടപെട്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ എല്ലാ ആളുകളും എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇപ്പം പറയാനില്ല. ഇനി ഓരോരുത്തരുടെ പേരെടുത്ത് പറയാനും പറ്റില്ല. കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെന്റ്, സംസ്ഥാന ഗവൺമെന്റ്, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആൾക്കാർ കൂടാതെ തന്നെ, അതായത് എം പിമാര്, എം എൽ എമാര്, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള മുഖ്യമന്ത്രി, അങ്ങനെ ഉള്ളത്, അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ഇന്റർനാഷണൽ എക്സ്പെർട്സിന്റെ ആൾക്കാര്, അതുപോലെ തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ ചാണ്ടി സാറ് തന്നെ ഈ കുറച്ച് ദിവസം കണ്ടില്ലേ എടുത്ത എഫർട്ട് എടുത്തിരുന്നത്.
And it was a race against time, which involved efforts from numerous quarters, apart from the active assistance from the Indian government, religious intervention from Grand Mufti of India, and also who reportedly helped in securing the postponement. The Grand Mufti reportedly reached out to a friend in Yemen's Shura Council to help mediate and said that discussions are going on with the victim's family to see if there is a way in which Priya could be pardoned.
യമനിലെ ഉത്തരവാദപ്പെട്ട പണ്ഡിതന്മാരെ ബന്ധപ്പെടുകയും അവരോട് ഈ കാര്യങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കിക്കൊടുക്കുകയും ചെയ്തു. ഇസ്ലാം മനുഷ്യത്വത്തിന് വളരെ പ്രാധാന്യം കൽപ്പിക്കുന്ന മതമാണല്ലോ. അവിടെ ജാതിയോ മതമോ വേറെ അല്ല, മനുഷ്യൻ എന്ന നിലക്ക് വളരെയധികം പ്രാധാന്യം കൽപ്പിക്കുന്ന മതമാണ് ഇത്. അവിടെയുള്ള പണ്ഡിതന്മാരോട് പറയുമ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് പെട്ടെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാകുന്നതും പോലെ അംഗീകരിക്കുന്നതും ആണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് നിങ്ങൾ ഈ വിഷയത്തിൽ ഇടപെട്ട് വല്ലതും ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കുമെങ്കിൽ ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞതിന്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിൽ ഈ യമനിലുള്ള ഉത്തരവാദപ്പെട്ട പണ്ഡിതന്മാരെല്ലാം ചേർന്ന് ഈ കാര്യത്തിൽ ആലോചിക്കുകയും അങ്ങനെ വേണ്ടത് ചെയ്യാമെന്ന് എനിക്ക് അറിയിക്കുകയുമാണ് ചെയ്തിരുന്നത്.
And Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has described the postponement of the execution as both comforting and also filled with hope. He said that the decision has given Priya more time to seek relief from the death sentence. Vijayan said that the development was made possible through the initiative and intervention of Grand Mufti. Other political leaders from Kerala have also welcomed the news as comforting.
We pursued the central government to involve and interfere in that, but finally we got an information that Kanthapuram Ustad also has intervened. Whomever is interfering for saving a human life, that way the good lady life of Kerala is totally welcome.
In fact, viewers, this relief to Nimisha Priya came a day after the centre told the Supreme Court that it was doing all it could to save her. But options are limited and that efforts were underway at a private level. Let's take a look at what the centre had told the top court earlier. Now, what did the centre tell the top court? Let's take a look at it. This is obviously DAG to the SC saying that there is nothing much the government really can do at that point of time. Also, they went on to say that it's Yemen and not, which is not a diplomatically recognized partner when it comes to the country. then the government of India can go only till a point, and then he went on to say that we have reached that particular point to which the government could have intervened in this particular case. Then going on to say, and I'm quoting the AG verbatim, Yemen is not like any other part of the world. This is the AG telling the SC. Also about the Nimisha Priya case hearing when it was underway in the SC, he went on to say that he didn't want to complicate the situation by going public when it comes to revealing the sort of negotiations which were possibly underway, and also going on to say that the government of India is trying at a private level to help Nimisha Priya in whatever way they could. Only option is blood money settlement. That obviously was the focal point. And finally going on to say also that we've reached out to an influential Sheikh in Yemen. And then the government of India, the argument which had come from the side of the centre was that they're trying to delay the execution while the discussions were underway at that moment. Also, how informally, they had told that execution would be put in abeyance, and that's something, that postponement or deferment at least, which we have seen at the moment. Arpita is joining us live on the broadcast. Arpita, it's obviously an extremely comforting news for Nimisha Priya's family. What happens next now?
So what we are being told is that even today, talks are being held from Kanthapuram, Aboobacker's side. He's constantly putting efforts to hold talks, and what next can be done is he has clearly said that he spoke to the officials there, and he has made this stand clear that Islam is a religion where humanity is more important than anything else, and on that basis is what the officials have now agreed to hold talks. So he is hopeful that the talks will yield a positive result. In fact, when we spoke to her husband, Nimisha's husband, Tommy Thomas, he also thanked Aboobacker's intervention, because of which last minute the people stalled her execution, and now what we are hoping is that they will come to a conclusion and there will be a positive reply soon. And Tommy Thomas in fact said that this is a combined effort from multiple MPs, MLAs, former Chief Minister, late Umman Jandi, current Chief Minister. All of them are intervening, all of them are constantly trying to give their best and solve this issue. But lately, with the latest intervention of Kanthapuram Aboobacker, Grand Mufti of India, they have finally come to a conclusion. Now they are hoping that further talks will give a positive reply soon from the Yemeni officials.
Well, absolutely, and the family is extremely hopeful. Rishabh is also joining us on the broadcast. Rishabh, take us through, the back-channel negotiations which had been carried out and how, the execution was postponed, at least to begin with, and what happens next, obviously.
Well, good morning, Meenakshi. Definitely, Nimisha Priya's execution was scheduled for today. Just hours before that execution, something changed. For the first time, victim's brother came on table late last night, a night before, and the negotiations continued till morning is what we are given to understand. By morning, the brother at least agreed to postpone the execution. See, this is not courtroom or embassies who have done much here, because remember, we do not have a permanent embassy in Yemen. We have a mission in Riyadh. First Secretary Political in Riyadh is someone who goes to Yemen and does all the consular work for our Indian nationals in Yemen. So we had limited diplomatic access in Yemen, which is war-torn since 2015, and there are various authorities there, and one do not exactly know who exactly to get in touch with, whether the Houthis, whether the rebel government, or for that matter, the small area which is still being controlled by the Shah of Yemen. So now, when diplomacy had its limit, faith walked in, and as Arpita was also mentioning, Grand Mufti Aboobacker spoke to a Sufi scholar in Yemen. He further spoke to the family. Now we have time, and time right now is essential. Time right now is essential to ensure that the negotiations can go on before the execution. See, there is no legal remedy left. The only remedy here left is mercy on blood money or diya. The two, ways where an execution can be halted under Sharia law. Now,
Okay.
the sources suggest that the supporters of Nimisha Priya
Right.
has acquired about 1
You're right,
million.
that really is the backstory, but what happens next to shed more light on that and help us understand really, how the case can be navigated. Obviously, it's a very critical and a crucial case, a very sensitive one as well. We have Pathikrit Payne. He's a foreign affairs expert. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Sir, it's been a relief for Nimisha Priya's family. Help us understand really what happens next, how these back-channel negotiations are carried out, especially in such sensitive and obviously critical cases.
So first and foremost, it is indeed a very good news that the execution has been delayed. But secondly, we have to understand that Yemen right now, it's a very complex country. Its government is not stable. It is almost in the middle of a war with Israel. So there are challenges, and it all depends upon how they perceive India. So probably it will no more just be about blood money. They will look for more conditions because they also know that India is desperately trying to stop this execution. See, even though it's a great diplomatic victory for India, at least for the time being, but sometimes what happens that diplomacy has its own limits. So religious organizations will have to step in. Some of the organizations in Kerala did step in. So we all have to, congratulate them and acknowledge their role. But what happens next, it is extremely difficult to predict because, the way these governments over there function, there is no well-defined rule of law. These are organizations, these are countries which are literally boiling or on the verge of a major conflict. Yemen has been in conflict with many of the Arab states for the last almost 1 decade. It has a conflict with Israel. So they generally perceive India as a country which is pro-Arab and pro-Israel. So against that backdrop, how they look at India, what they do with India, there are challenges, and that's why the religious organizations were made to step in to ensure that where diplomacy may have its own limits, the religious organizations may play a critical role, and that is, let's see what happens from here on. But a delay need not mean complete cancellation of the entire process. We hope it eventually gets cancelled, but we'll have to still wait and watch.
Well, absolutely. And we are keeping a close eye on all the developments as far as this case is related. Thank you, sir, for joining us. We had earlier also viewers spoken to Nimisha Priya's husband. Listen to what he had to say.
അല്ല, ആ വിവരം കിട്ടിയപ്പോൾ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ആശ്വാസവും സന്തോഷവും എന്നിപ്പോ എന്താന്ന് പറഞ്ഞറിയിക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്ത ഈ അവസ്ഥയിലാണ് നമ്മൾ ജീവിക്കണേ. ഈ അവസ്ഥയിൽ ജീവിക്കുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് പറഞ്ഞറിയിക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്ത സന്തോഷവും ഒക്കെ നമുക്കുണ്ട്. എന്നാലും അത് ഭംഗിയായിട്ട് വരും എന്നുള്ളത് നമുക്ക് ഉറപ്പുണ്ട്. എല്ലാവരും ഇടപെടലും കാര്യങ്ങളും അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് അതിശക്തമായിട്ട് തന്നെ ഇതിൻ്റെ അതിന്റെ ഒരു ഭാഗം കന്തൂര് സാറൊക്കെ അവിടെ പോയി ഇതിനകത്ത് ഇടപെട്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ എല്ലാ ആളുകളും എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇപ്പം പറയാനില്ല. ഇനി ഓരോരുത്തരെ പേരെടുത്ത് പറയാനും പറ്റില്ല. കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെന്റ്, സംസ്ഥാന ഗവൺമെന്റ്, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആൾക്കാർ കൂടാതെ തന്നെ, അതായത് MP മാര്, MLA മാര്, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള മുഖ്യമന്ത്രി, അങ്ങനെ ഉള്ളതോ അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ഇന്റർനാഷണൽ എക്സ്പെൻസിന്റെ ആൾക്കാര്, അതുപോലെ തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ ചാണ്ടിയമ്മ സാറ് തന്നെ ഈ കുറച്ച് ദിവസം മുമ്പ് കണ്ടില്ലേ എടുത്ത എഫക്ട് എത്തുന്നത്.
All right. I would also like to thank Rishabh and Arpita for joining us with all